Hey guys, this is Socrates Trading and Investments. So many of us are probably wondering how the market is going to open tomorrow morning, and it's going to be very interesting to see here. I was just watching Andrew or Russ Cameron, who does the Warrior Trading YouTube channel, but when we look at like oil and natural gas, energy sector, there's some big names that people may recognize here. I was just looking here at MXC. This one is, if we go and look at a daily here, it's been kind of in an upward trend now for the past 6 to 8 months, and it looks like it's around $11 here. Generally, it stays in a tighter channel, upward channel here. It's not to say, I mean, if we go back to June, I mean, you had these huge breakouts here from like 7 to over $14 a share. Another big player, and keep in mind, these are lower float stocks we're talking about. These aren't like there's the big energy stocks, large floats. These are the kind of stocks that could make potentially 50 to 100+% move in single days. So we'll go to another one that's been having some unique movements the past few months, known as Battalion Oil Corporation. Right here, it's also known as BATL. It was just $1 a share back in October. Recently, like in the past month, it had this massive breakout day where it went from $1.20 more or less up to almost $7 a share. And then it kind of went down, it consolidated, and then it continued upwards again last week. So this is another one that you could definitely put on your radar. I could see this one potentially hitting 10 to $20 in the next week or even more. It may have a parabolic day. It's hard to say. As we know, often these energy companies tend to trade more in conjunction with the futures like oil, crude oil, natural gas, etc. But this is one to keep on your radar. It's obviously a lower float stock. And then there's one called INDO. Any people who are big aficionados of these small caps here probably remember INDO from a few years ago. This one has had some really massive breakout days, and this is also a lower float stock. See, back in April, it was around $2 and it went to almost $8 within the following 2 months. And then it went down, consolidated, and was in an upward trend for more or less the past month. Last week, it had this 22% day, or this was on Friday, and it closed at just under $6 a share. And then if we look down, like we can look at the overall relative volume here, more or less in February is where it started kind of picking up. We're looking at anywhere between 2 to 4 million shares on a good day. But look at this. Back in June, this had days of over 40 million shares of relative volume. That's very critical when you look at stocks. And when you see these more parabolic days, relative volume is one of the key indicators. Now, or another website that I've mentioned here before, I look at is this Finviz. Like on Finviz here, you can get a good picture of other metrics. I don't think this always tells the full story, but it gives a lot more background. So, like inside ownership of INDO, Indonesia Energy Corporation, 37%. That's pretty sizable. And then if we look at like share float is under 10 million, short float is around 8% more or less. 52-week high 795, 52-week low is 210. And then there's some other metrics here, but these are key figures right here. This really can give a better picture. And then I'll take another one. We'll go to that BATL, Battalion Oil Corporation, which I'd also just mentioned here. If we look at it's once again, share flow is on the smaller side, 20 million or 14 million shares. Anything that's less than 20 million is on the smaller side. It's not a real small share flow, but it's smaller. Short flow is around 7%, so fairly close to INDO. And then insider ownership is around 14 or 15%. But one of the key differences, though, with this stock, if we look at the overall performance for past week, month, quarter, is that it's been up quite a bit. I mean, past quarter, it's been up almost 400%, which is quite staggering. Now, let's go back to INDO and look at what INDO was at. Still, it's I mean, this one's been up a lot also, around 100%. Now, like I said, though, share float is a bit smaller, 9.5 million. Now, another one that some people have kind of had on their radar, I think it's called Mexico Energy Corporation. And this one's trading in a very tight channel. So, yeah, if we go back, once again, it was late last spring. If we go back June here, it jumped from around $7 all the way up to around 15 or 16 here. It had these big breakout days, and share float is very small for this. This is 1 million. That's a very small share float. Institutional or inside ownership is 49%, also quite big. See, if we look at here, this is a quick way you can calculate share float. So shares outstanding is 2.05. Inside ownership is 49%, and that then reduces our share float to 1.04 million. And then so that's a really quick way you can figure out these values, and it's trading around $11 right now. This one could also have considerable breakout. Like I said at the beginning, these stocks, typically oil, gas, anything energy related, tends to trade more in correlation with energy futures. But it's not to say if that parabolic momentum comes in, these stocks could make an incredible move. A stock like this has all the primers here to make an absolutely parabolic move next week. And obviously, we saw this wars kicking off in Iran. This right here is massive potential. So keep an eye on that. And give me your feedback below. Tell me, guys, what you think, which stocks are going to have some breakouts this week. Thank you.